All right, welcome to AI Today. It is December 18th, 2025. And wow, things are really moving fast in the world of AI. Let's get you up to speed.
So get this, big tech just pushed a massive upgrade to the AI that's probably in your pocket right now.
And at the very same time, behind the scenes, researchers might have just cracked the code on the next level of machine intelligence. It's a huge deal.
But here's the big question, right? As these machines get smarter, are they actually getting more frustrating to use? It's a real paradox. Okay, let's dive in and break down what you really need to know about all this.
So, first things first, let's talk about your AI's big upgrade. We're talking about the tools you can use today. Both OpenAI and Google just dropped some pretty significant updates. Okay, so OpenAI just rolled out something called GPT Image 1.5 for ChatGPT. And the one word you need to remember is consistency. You know how it used to be? You'd ask the AI to, add a hat to a picture and it would change the person's face, the background, everything? Well, not anymore. Now, it just adds the hat. The person, the lighting, it all stays perfectly locked in. Oh, and it's 4 times faster. If you do any kind of creative work, this is a game changer.
All right, now let's hop over to Google. Their big update? It's all about one thing, money. I love this quote from Guillaume Bowden. You thought AI would recommend the best product? It will recommend the highest bidder. Yep, Google is plugging ads right into their conversational AI, Gemini. So how's this even work? Well, they've basically invented a whole new category they're calling GEA, or Generative Engine Advertising. It's pretty simple, really. You ask Gemini for, say, a new pair of headphones. That request instantly triggers an advertiser's campaign and boom, a little shopping cart pops up right there in your chat. You can buy it on the spot. The whole idea is to make it seamless. And the really clever part? Google isn't building some brand new ad system from scratch. They're just plugging their gigantic existing ad machine straight into the conversation.
But, all this amazing software needs some serious hardware to run on. And if you really want to understand the new AI economy, you have to talk about the one company that's building the foundation for, well, pretty much everything. Let's start with just one number, 90%. Just think about that for a second. 90%. What on earth could one company have a 90% monopoly on in a global industry this big?
Well, that's the percentage of the world's most advanced AI chips made by one single company, TSMC. That's the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. They are, and I'm not exaggerating, the indispensable architects of this entire AI revolution.
And their dominance isn't just limited to the top-of-the-line chips. If you look at the whole market for custom chip manufacturing, TSMC has a mind-blowing 71% share. I mean, look at their closest competitor, Samsung. They're way down at 9%. This isn't really a market. It's a kingdom, and TSMC is the king. And of course, that kind of dominance leads to some absolutely insane financial numbers. We're talking year-over-year growth hitting around 40%. Why? Because everybody, and I mean everybody, NVIDIA, Apple, Google, you name it, they are all lining up desperate for AI chips. And they all have to go to TSMC to get them.
So, okay, we've got all this incredible hardware. Now, researchers are using it to completely rewrite the rules of what AI is capable of. And this is where things start to get really interesting and maybe a little complicated for the rest of us. DeepMind over at Google just dropped a paper on what they're calling AGI-level reasoning. The big idea here is something called domain transfer reasoning. So what is that? It's basically when an AI learns the how of solving a problem in one area, like the logic of a math puzzle, and then it can apply that same logic to a completely new and different problem it's never seen before. This isn't just about spotting patterns anymore. This is a huge leap towards a much more general, flexible kind of AI.
And we're not just talking about abstract logic puzzles. Researchers are now asking an even bigger question, a much bigger question. Can AI actually discover the hidden laws of nature all by itself? And it looks like the answer is maybe yes. There's a new AI out of Duke University that's doing just that. It's taking these massive, chaotic data sets, think about something like global climate patterns, and it's distilling them down into simple, clean equations that describe how they work. It's like having a digital Isaac Newton that can look at a system too complex for any human to figure out and just see the physics. Okay, so let's bring this all back down to earth, back to our jobs. How does all this incredible intelligence actually impact the workplace? Well, for people just starting out, the effect is huge and it's immediate. A study just found that when you give AI tools to new customer support agents, their productivity shoots up by more than 34%. It's basically a digital mentor, sitting right on their shoulder, feeding them expert knowledge whenever they need it. But here's the catch, the big paradox. For the novices, the AI is a catalyst, sure, but it could also be a problem. Why? Because it automates all those basic, simple tasks. You know, taking notes, writing simple emails, the very things you do to learn the fundamentals of a job. Now, for the experts, it's a liberator. It takes all the boring, routine stuff off their plate so they can focus on big picture strategy. But it's also a threat if they don't adapt, because suddenly, just having years of experience isn't the trump card it used to be. And all of this leads us to the final piece of the puzzle today, us, the human response. On one hand, how are we trying to manage all this power? And on the other, what does it actually feel like to use these things every single day? So on one side, you've got the official, top-down approach. I'm talking about the big picture stuff. 193 countries have actually signed on to this UNESCO framework for AI ethics. It's full of these really important principles, right? Human oversight, fairness, transparency. This is the global blueprint for how AI should work, the ideal. And then there's the reality, the raw, unfiltered experience of actually using it. This quote from a Reddit user just nails it. They said it's like talking to a sycophant that tells you everything is all right, a church-bred censor freak that tells you everything is illegal. And that just perfectly captures the frustration, doesn't it? The models get more and more powerful, but at the same time, they're getting, well, weirder. Which leaves us with a huge critical question we're all going to have to answer. As these AIs get woven deeper and deeper into our lives, who actually gets to decide their personality? Is it the companies that build them? The governments that regulate them? Or is it us, the people who use them every day? That's the big conversation we're all a part of now. Thanks for tuning in to AI Today.